Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Soren Review. And today we're going to be doing a race review for the Geico 500 at Talladega Super Speedway. Now, normally with a race review, I do a full on weekend race review. However, I thought it'd be better to not do that because I did commentate the Xfinity Talladega race. You can watch that. Left the stream open. Um, so you know, if you want to go back and watch it. I don't know why you would, but it's there. So, I kind of already reviewed it, so I don't really want to, talk about stuff I already did. So, we're just going to go about the cup race. Now, the cup race was the Geico 500, right? This is probably one of my favorite events of the entire year, the first Talladega race. This was also the 10th race of the Cup Series season. It was a total of 7 cautions. Not many cautions. And the overall winner, Brad Keselowski, got the win. Was able to get his sixth Talladega win, ties Jeff Gordon and Dale Earnhardt Jr. for most all time at Talladega. And we're going to basically talk about the race as a whole, cautions, and then we'll go through the finishers as well. So let's let the start of the race, right? I was kind of worried, to be honest with you. We were gonna expect another Daytona 500 big wreck, and we didn't. We made it to the competition caution, which was about lap 25, and we had the comp caution. Everyone did it, and then we went to commercial, and about lap 41, we had a spin. Joey Gase spun out in turn number 4, and then we coming to the end of the stage. And I'm sure if you're a NASCAR fan, you were watching this weekend, or you've at least seen the highlight in your YouTube recommended box. They're coming to the finish in turn number 3. Joey Logano kind of got churned by Hamlin and Stenhouse. It was a racing accident, and Logano got churned, and air got underneath the car, and up and over he went. The flip was very similar. I've seen people comparing it to Brendan Gaughan's flip. I've seen people compare it to there's another flip that they compared it to. If you look at it, it's very similar to Ryan Newman's flip at Talladega in 2000 and what year was that? 2009, I think. So I've seen people compare it to that. It looks most similar to that, in my opinion. How ironic, though, that Joey Logano flips at the iRacing Pro Invitational Series, which was that iRacing event on Wednesday, and then flips in real life. And Brad Keselowski wins the iRacing race and then wins in real life. Just that cool little connection. Stage ended, right? And then about midway through stage 2, we had fluid from Kurt Busch's car. He ended up continuing, actually. Um, he ended up finishing 35th, multiple laps down, but he still finished, which I thought he was out of the, done overall. And then coming to the end of stage 2 with about 2 laps to go, we had another crash where Keselowski kind of put a block on Denny Hamlin, who was trying to get back on the lead lap. Right, he was the car 1 lap down, and it was really weird. He was the car 1 lap down, was racing up front, and you'd think, oh, he'd just stay behind his teammate, he'd just stay up front, get the free pass. It looked like he was trying to get himself back on the lead lap by actually racing before the leaders, trying to get to the line first, and it just did not work. Kind of got spun by Truex, didn't. It was really weird. Collected 3 of the Hendrick cars. So we had that accident. Took out about, basically everyone in that was involved in that crash other than Byron. About 5 cars. And then stage 3 happened. We had fuel mileage, which was cool at one point. Everyone was trying to save gas. And then Quinn Half had brought out the caution with about 17 to go. And then we had a caution for debris, about 4 to go, for Martin Truex, who had a tire um, which came apart. So overall, what did I think of the race? I thought it was fine. I thought it was a good race. I thought it was a solid Talladega race, I think. I don't think that it was a super great Talladega race. Compared to the 2019 fall Talladega race or last year's spring race, I don't think it's that caliber of a race, but I think it's a solid. I'd give it like a 93%. Um, the racing was stellar. We didn't have too many wrecks, which I always enjoy. And like occasional wreck or two isn't horrible, but when we cannot have great racing and not tear up a lot of race cars, like the 2020 Fall Talladega race, come on, that was too many cars wrecked. It was like, oh, wreck after wreck after wreck. It got boring at the end. So, and the finish was pretty good. Brad Keselowski, and we're gonna talk about the end in a minute. Brad Keselowski kind of held off. It was an okay finish. So overall, I give it like a 93%. So let's talk about the finish before we get into the finishers. Coming to the white flag, Matt DiBenedetto was leading. He was the control car in the restart, and about coming to the line with 1 lap to go, he went up the track to block Ryan Blaney because he saw the top line gaining momentum. Did not work. Brad Keselowski had a big push from, I think, Michael McDowell and got down to the bottom, basically took the lead. De Benedetto had the chance to maybe get back up there. He was going to need help from Blaney, and Blaney was probably going to push him. And Blaney was about to have a run from the third car on the top line, which was Tyler Reddick. And Tyler Reddick kind of made a poor move, went to the top around Blaney, instead of pushing Blaney and maybe having even a chance at the win. Do I think it's a poor move? Yes, but Reddick's very inexperienced at these tracks, right? And I'm not calling him a talentless, but I'm just saying, I'm not gonna lie and say that I wouldn't. There's many drivers who I would see who would make those moves. They're not gonna think, it's the last lap, you got to go for it. And I think that's what Reddick thought instead of the long run. So, and the finish ended. McDowell kind of got a big run on the outside. Keselowski didn't really block it. McDowell's line kind of fizzled out when Byron didn't push him. And so McDowell finished third, Keselowski second, Keselowski first, Byron second, McDowell third. So that was basically your top three. All three did very well. Like I said, Byron was involved in that incident earlier. Now I'm just going to the top 10. Let's just go to the top 10 where we added Kevin Harvick finishes fourth. It had a good run there at the end. Matt DiBenedetto was stage 1 winner. Forgot to mention that. He finishes fifth. Kaz Gralla for Colleague Racing. We originally thought he finished fifth, finishes sixth after review by .001. So 1/1000th of a second. Kaz Gralla finishes behind DiBenedetto. But a great sixth place finish for that team. They needed that, really build up off that Talladega win in the Xfinity Series. Tyler Reddick seventh, like I mentioned, probably could have finished higher and finishes seventh. Austin Dillon eighth, Blaney ninth. Blaney basically ran up front most of the day, gets a top 10, and Cole Custer grabs a top 10 as well with 10th. Rest of the finisher, some guys you would expect to only run kind of good at the plate tracks. Briscoe, Alfredo, Newman, Priest, and Almirola top 15s. Everybody else coming to that white flag or coming to the last lap into the trioval. Eric Jones spun out. He was running really well. Was guaranteed a top 10 basically, and kind of got churned. Well, no, he was trying to go down, bumped Kaz Gralla and kind of got bumped and loose and spun out. Finishes 27th. Ross Chastain got on the apron a little, couldn't get back up, and he got loose, spun out. I think finishes 16th. Kyle Busch, Bubba Wallace were farther back on that last overtime. They pitted for tires, I think basically hoping for multiple cautions. Did not work out for them. Daniel Suarez when he took the white flag was running third on the inside. Actually, he was the car pushing McDowell. So theoretically, and when he spun, because he got kind of churned and finished pretty far back, finishes 23rd. That's where Harvick was running, and Kevin Harvick finished top 5, so Suarez maybe could have gotten a top 5 had that not happened. But that was basically a race. Kyle Larson was out early. I forgot to mention he they forgot to remove a plate from the radiator, which basically blocked the radiator, blew the engine up on lap 3. So unfortunate for that team. 2 horrible weeks in a row. So we head to Kansas for the Bushy McBush Race 400, sponsored by Bush Beer. Yeah, what a name. I think it's gonna be a great race there. Kansas is always good. It's during the day, which I don't understand. I don't get why. Like, I liked Richmond during the day, but I don't get why we needed to make Kansas during the day when we know Kansas racing product is much better at night. So that was a questionable move, especially considering that first Kansas race has always been at night. So I don't know what Fox is doing there, because it's Fox who makes the dates because they want to air the race at a certain time. So I don't know what they're doing. That was a poor move on them. Trucks are racing at Kansas Xfinity. We won't see them for I think 2 weeks. They're not racing at Kansas and they're not racing at Dover. So we'll see them at Darlington. Overall, thank you so much for watching, everyone. Remember, you can use code SOREN72 to get free shipping off all orders $20 or more when you order from Circle B Diecast. SOREN72 is the code. Save like $5 on shipping. Great deal. $10 if you're buying a 124. Also follow me on Twitter if you want, @ReviewSoren. Thank you so much for watching, everyone, and goodbye.